inch closer to the weekend. Chesley, how are you feeling about things? What are the models showing you?
Well, some slight differences. We talked about it yesterday. There's been these subtle changes that's been taking place as the system will start to develop over. Still way out to the west. We got rain out there right now, and a lot of people are saying, hey, it's going to snow tomorrow. My students. Because they were looking at their phone. And I'm saying, no. Too warm for that for today. It won't be until this weekend that colder air will begin to move in. And so that's when we're anticipating that winter weather to move into our forecast area. So today, you're just looking at the rain that's out there right now. And it's going to stay that way pretty much all day long. We started out with temperatures in the 40s, of course, milder than what we started out all week. We've been looking at temperatures down into the 20s and 30s and teens up to the far north. And so a 40-degree start, nice. In fact, we'll even take the rain because of the drought conditions that are over us. So benefits here, but I know our focus is really on the weekend and what's to come. So right now, this system right here is not the one that's going to bring us the winter weather. You're looking at some rain. It's a slow mover, a light rain for the most part. There will be some moderate pockets here and there. We'll see this today and again tomorrow, and still mild out there. That will start off, or even on Saturday, I think, with some clouds. Now, that system way out to the west. I got my forecast track model here, Dan, at Friday morning, and notice things just starting to get underway. If you look back toward Denver, over to El Paso, this is Pacific moisture coming in to the area. That cold air now is starting to penetrate down to the south. You look at Dallas, by Friday night, it still have rain. But watch what happens as we go a little further. That cold air starts to penetrate Dallas, and so they'll be seeing ice there. Look at the snow that's forming into Omaha, Wichita, and over towards St. Louis. That starts to spread further over toward the east, and so now you have a wide area, big area impacted by this winter storm from Albuquerque all the way into Washington, D.C. That's what we're talking about by Saturday night. Some of that stretching into our area. You notice the mixing taking place over our area as well. You got a little bit of rain. You also got a little bit of that pink in there. So you're talking about sleet and freezing rain, not the snow. The winter storm watches now extend from Albuquerque all the way into New York City. Everybody's watching for the potential for winter weather, except for over toward Oklahoma where they have that pink area there. That is a warning, meaning that it's intimate there, but everybody else is still watching what will take place. We're also doing the same thing here. Just north of the city, we have a winter storm watch, which means, again, we're watching for that potential. Likely Atlanta is going to be put into that as we get a little bit closer. So don't say, okay, well, Atlanta's not in it, we can let our guard down. No, that's not the case. We'll be seeing a mixing first, and then it will change over. Now, looking at the difference in the models once again, Dan, now we started out earlier in the week looking at that pink over everywhere. Yeah. Right, and now we see a little bit more green in there, indicating that there may be a little bit more warming that will take place. So everyone not seeing the ice, but certainly Atlanta toward the northeast, we're looking at that on both models. One just extends a little bit further down to the south. That would be the American model. So what are we talking here? Ice. When we talk about accumulations, mainly up in the northeast is where we're talking about the heavier accumulations possibly, and we'll get a better idea of this as it gets closer. But right now, you're talking about a half an inch or more. Maybe in some spots up there toward the northeast, and so we'll be watching that. The matter now is how far south of Atlanta will it go? If you look at the European model, not much there, okay? Either way, any amount of ice is going to cause some problems for our area as far as travel goes and power outages. So if you look at our forecast track model, it shows, once again, we're looking at isolated showers around the area for today. We'll do that again tomorrow as our temperatures will be in the 50s. Can you believe that? We're in the 50s, got rain, and then once we get into the weekend, that's when that cold air comes in. Now, I think we'll start off Saturday morning with clouds. If we see any precipitation at all, it will be in the form of rain because our temperatures on Saturday morning will be in the 40s, but they'll be falling through the day. So as that moisture gets closer to us, that's when we'll start to see things starting to amp up a little bit there. We'll see the mixing first, and then I think we'll start to mix with sleet or freezing rain, and then it'll make a changeover to all of one or the other.
Okay.
Right? And so if it's freezing rain, then, of course, we got some issues that we're going to have to deal with because I think the bulk of it will be around here by Saturday, late Saturday night going into Sunday morning. And then by Sunday afternoon, we could see a little bit of warming taking place where it'll start to change over into rain briefly, and then back again, we'll see it into freezing rain, and then it will get out of the way. Now, the backside of that, of course, is Monday, as temperatures will only be around 34 degrees, the refreeze.
So those two models still a little divergent,
Okay.
The Euro and the GFS. Is there one you trust more in a storm like this? 'Cause it's looking like the Euro would be a better scenario for us, right?
I do think so. If you look at last weekend, we were talking about that, right? Last weekend, when we're looking at that model, it had most of that snow down to the south, and that manifested,
That's
right?
what happened.
Where the American model had it over all of us, right? And so I typically tend to depend on the Euro more for winter weather than our typical severe weather season. But yeah, it depends on what you're what your bias is toward. I'm toward the European model. And with that being the case, that means a little less ice for the Atlanta metro area if that comes to fruition.
Sure.
But it'll change. It'll change. We've got a couple days now. It'll change, and we'll keep you updated on that. There's some hints that there could be another one coming next weekend.
No, stop it.
I got to tell you that, at least to let you know.
Man, well, I mean, it is late January in Georgia, so anything can happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we'll keep you updated.
All right, Chesley, I know you will. Thanks. See you soon.